stones from Hadrian's wall, although sadly, it's the first real example of it outside of Carlisle. This is Banks' turret. Here it is. You can imagine it going up here. There'd be 6 men stationed in this turret, and they had 2 of these turrets in between each mile castle. And obviously, 1 mile castle every mile, although the Roman mile was slightly less than the English mile. Now, Hadrian commissioned the wall, Emperor Hadrian, in AD 120 through to AD 130. And it replaced a previous fortification, which was really nothing more than a bit of soil and a road which was defended, which had been put up by Agricola, and that was called Staingate. And, that's where the wall runs out. So I guess if we go in that direction, we'll find some more. 3 mile castles further along the wall, and here we are at Bird Oswald. That's the fort behind me, and it's of particular interest, this fort, because when they were excavating it, they were very careful not to throw away the layers above the Romans, and that showed them that this, unlike most other places, remained inhabited for centuries and centuries and centuries after the Romans had left. Civilizations remained here. It was the Romanians who occupied it for the Romans, because of course not all Roman soldiers were Italians, and the Romans knew that the Romanians would be better at dealing with the climate. And on days like today, you can see why, really. The name Bird Oswald is Norse, and it means a clearing or flat area on top of a crooked glen. Actually, there are some great names round here. There's Wall, for obvious reasons, Banks, where we've just been. There's First Brood. Is it First or Once Brood? Once Brood, right? And there's Spade Adam. Now that sounds good. Let's go and have a look at that. Woo! Yeah, well, don't laugh. This is how a legionary would have looked up here at turret number 45A, which is Walltown Crags. And all I can tell you is they must have been pretty hardy blokes, because this stuff is very heavy. On a day like today, you don't half feel the weather. And they weren't even allowed a fire in a turret like this. But out there was Scotland. Nothing much has changed in all this time, because this is Vindolanda, one of the finest Roman forts you'll come to, and this is what they dug out of the blacksmith's quarters. Very similar to what we've just seen being used, and that is still used today. It's known as a Monday hammer. The reason they call it a Monday hammer is if you use that on a Monday, you won't want to use it again during the rest of the week. This is bronze that's been pulled out of the ground. Animal bones, you can see how that cow met its end. And over here, what makes this site so special is that everything is preserved, including the natural products like this wood. These are top-soft barrels and cases, and it even tells you what was inside the barrels and cases. Amazing stuff. Through here, huge pieces of masonry, writing utensils. I'm going to tell you more about that in a moment, but first of all, I want to show you these beautiful pieces of jewellery. Rings, necklaces, brooches, bracelets, everything. That big ring in the middle was found in a latrine. But the others, and the reason why they've got such a fine collection of these little pieces, hairpins here, tweezers, everything, money over here, is because the floors used to be covered in straw and bracken. And when the ring fell into it, it was just brushed to one side, let's say at the end of the week or whenever, and that's how it's still there. Stylus pens, writing pens, a wax tablet for writing on. That was for writing important documents. Talking of important documents, most of the writing was done on pieces of wood. This is an example. This is the first ever recorded piece of one woman writing to another woman. The first anywhere in the world. And it was an invitation to a birthday party. Although I don't know, because I can't read it. But through here, something very, very special. A real treat. And on the way, Have a look at this horse's headgear, beautifully decorated, absolutely genuine. The real one is next to it. A wig there. And you go in here. Nobody gets the opportunity to do this, but you've got it. Just some of the thousands of pairs of shoes that have been found on this site. And in particular, this one, which belonged to the boss's wife, Leopardina, a beautiful shoe, done in Italian style, imported from Gaul. She threw it away because that broke, which she obviously had quite a lot of money. And we know that she had 3 children, and this was a little booty from one of the children. Isn't that beautiful? Before the child could even walk, probably. Put it down, there. Meet Robin Burley, who has been the director of the trust here for 25 years, and has probably dug up most of this, I would imagine, have you?
I would think so, yes.
It is a remarkable site, probably one of the best anywhere.
Well, it is, but we have absolutely perfect conditions of preservation. Everything the Romans left behind, still there, still in working order almost. Even their money. You try that. There's nothing wrong with that.
This is Roman money.
That's Roman money. That's Roman small change.
That's Hadrian.
That's the boss, yes.
Small change. Small. Don't get too excited.
There's his predecessor, Trajan. His, he called him his uncle. Wonderful coins. And this is it. No problems with them at all. No deterioration. A Roman coming back now would recognize those straight away.
Now, I'll take you outside and I'll show you why things are so well preserved like that. And this is what Vindolanda looks like from the outside, in a howling gale and pouring rain, or at least this is the 9th fort to be built here. There are 8 more forts underneath me, and you have to go down about 20 feet to find the first one. What the Romans did was, after they'd finished with a wooden fort, they'd just knock it down and they'd put soil and clay, about 3 foot of it, on top of it and start again. And that preserved everything that was underneath, which is why they found so much here. They've got all these layers of preserved Roman artifacts. Unique. You won't find it anywhere else in the world. It's snowing now. Now look, for once, I'm going to admit something. I don't want to be here. This is a Mithraean temple, which was built to the god Mithraeus. There are 3 of them on Hadrian's wall, but this is the only one they've found so far. It actually appeared during the summer of... You're going to need a wipe. The summer of 1949, when it was so hot that the heather shrank and revealed these temple stones. The Persians brought Mithraean religion to the Romans, and it was very popular, and they always built the temples over a little stream, which was actually part of its downfall because it kept collapsing. Mithras is a sun god. Yes, well, thank you for driving me to Newcastle. I'm getting into this show for business. Well, here we are, 48 Broomridge Avenue. The amazing thing about this house is that in its garden there's a Roman temple, a Benwell temple. Go on, have a look at it. You get out the car. I'll tell you all about it. Can you imagine having a Roman temple in your back garden and people actually have to go through your front gate in order to see it? Well, she locked it. Well, you'll have to climb over the fence, but don't break anything. Now then, this Benwell temple was probably built late in the 2nd century AD by the cohort of Vangionis. That was the garrison of Benwell Fort. And it was dedicated to the minor Celtic god Antioch. Yeah, no, I was reading it. I can't know everything, can I? Now come on, don't hang about, because we're going up to Wall's End, and you know where that is, don't you? Right, that's next. So here we are on the Tyne in Newcastle, 80 miles from Bowness in Solway. The wall has come to an end. In fact, it gave its name to this area, Wall's End. Hadrian's idea, built by his best mate, Plutorius Nepos, stopped here. I'll show you exactly where. This is it. The wall's actually thinner here than it is in other parts, because it came right down to the river's edge and stopped. That's it. It's not the most auspicious of endings, really, is it? That's Swan Hunter there. I tell you what, just for one final little look, let's go back, say, 40 miles. Come on, I know you've done it a couple of times. Just for me, one last look. This is a lovely stretch of the wall to finish on. Come on, come and join me just this last time. Have a look at the vallum over there, which is the ditch that they built, and it had fortification on either side. And then here it is, Hadrian's Wall, which for 250 years was the northernmost defensive part of the Roman Empire in this country. And that is the end of our trip along it. Now then, as a special treat, I'm going to let you choose anywhere you want in Britain for the next one. What? Where did that come from? Blackpool. That's where you want to go, is it? Okay, well I said it was your choice. So, it's the Tower, it's tourist,